Hi guys, what's up and welcome to my channel. So I'm going to make a recap and give you guys the details of everything that went down on the Big Brother Naija Level Up Edition reunion. Today is day 2. I'm filming this on day 2, but I'm also going to give a quick recap of day 1 as well. So let's get right into it. So for day 1, they just basically showed us a summary of their South Africa trip. Remember, all the housemates, they won an all-expense paid trip to South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa by Pepsi. So they just showed us a summary of the trip, the adventures they went on, the fun they had. It wasn't basically anything serious. It was just a whole summary of the trip, and then we moved on to day 2, which was the reunion proper, and everybody was looking they all looked so good. Ebuka wasted no time. He just went straight up into the questions, and then he started with Daniela. He asked Daniela how the trip was for her and if it was weird to be in the same space with Khalid, and she said no, it wasn't weird. They already had a conversation when she left the house, so everything is cool between them, no bad blood. He asked the same question to Khalid, that how was it for him being in the same space with Dotun and Daniela, and how they resolved the whole triangle. If you cast your minds back, Khalid and Daniela, they were in a ship, and after Khalid left, Daniela and Dotun, they entered another ship. So Khalid said for him and Dotun, they already had a conversation when Dotun left the house, that they already had an understanding, everything is okay, and it happened so long ago that he has moved on from it, he has forgotten about it. And then Ebuka asked the same question to Dotun, and Dotun said the same thing. He said, yeah, they've spoken, they resolved everything that they had to talk about, rather they talked about everything they had to talk about. That yes, at first when they were in Cape Town, it was a bit weird, but later everything was okay, the energy was fine. And Ebuka moved on to Chichi, and then he asked Chichi how the trip was for her, and if it is true that she fell out with almost all the housemates. And Chichi was like, the trip was okay, but let me correct you, dear Ebuka. That was what she said, basically, that she didn't fall out with almost all the housemates, that she fell out with only Deji. Keep in mind that Deji is not currently on set with them, but Ebuka said he's going to join in subsequent episodes. So she said she only fell out with Deji, and then Ebuka asked Chomzi if it is true what Chichi is saying, and Chomzi was like, Ebuka, I don't know, I'm not Chichi. And Ebuka was like, but you guys are friends, at least you should know. And Chomzi said nothing, she didn't say anything. Ebuka asked her again, you guys are friends, right, you and Chichi? She didn't say anything, and Chichi was just looking at her, waiting for her response. Chomzi refused to answer. She just stayed mute. She did not give any response. And then Ebuka left them, and then he moved on to Groovy. And then he asked Groovy the same question, how the trip was. And Groovy was like, yeah, it was the second time in Cape Town. It was fun for him. He had a lot of fun. And Ebuka said, did you have fun with Fina? And Groovy said he had a lot of fun. And Ebuka asked him again, no, he said he had fun with everybody. When Ebuka asked him, did you have fun with Fina? He said he had fun with everybody. And then Ebuka asked him again, did you have fun with Fina? He now said, I believe she's categorized under everybody. She's part of the everybody. And they just panned the camera to Fina's face. Fina was not smiling at all. Like, she wasn't even smiling. And Ebuka moved to Fina, and he asked Fina the same question, and Fina was like, she did not have fun on the trip. Ebuka asked her why. She said because the weather was too cold, she could not adapt to the weather, so she did not have fun. And Ebuka was like, was Groovy not there to provide enough warmth for you? And did you guys not have enough fun? And Fina was like, there was fun. We had fun. And Ebuka was like, so you had fun after all, because you said you did not have fun, the trip was not okay. And she said, there was fun. And when you have to do some things, you just do some things. And Ebuka was like, what thing? What do you mean? And she said, Ebuka, that's it. And Ebuka asked her again, what thing? She said, Ebuka, that's it. She didn't want to explain further. And Ebuka asked her, so Ebuka told her rather that so she had so much fun that she almost missed her flight to Cape Town. So apparently she almost missed her flight to South Africa. And she was like, yeah, she almost missed her flight. Ebuka asked her why. She did not respond. Ebuka then asked Brian what time the flight was. And for a moment, Brian was like, Ebuka, was I there? Brian was confused because the question came impromptu, the way they just threw him into the mix. And he said they had different batches when they were traveling to South Africa, that he does not remember if Fina and himself, they were in the same batch. And Ebuka was like, okay. And then he moved to Christy O, and then he asked Christy O if there was anything she observed at Cape Town when they were on the trip. And so she said yes, that she observed that 1 minute everybody would be together, Next minute, you see tweets flying up and down, shade flying, that she's just confused. And Ebuka was like, okay, give us an example. And she said, for example, she's going to use Eloswag. That Eloswag tweeted, use your at button. And according to Christy O, Eloswag was referring to Adekunle because Adekunle posted a link. And Ebuka asked Adekunle, oh, what link did you post? What was it about? Adekunle said it was a link to the newsletter he made for his fans, documenting his whole experience in Cape Town. And then he asked Eloswag, what did you say in the newsletter that made you tweet that? Eloswag said he saw a part that Adekunle said, it's not about going on live always. Some of them are busy living their real lives, something along those lines. And he felt it was a direct jab at him because him, Eloswag, he was always going on live on Instagram. So he felt Adekunle was shading him. And then Adekunle explained himself, saying that he did not even know that Eloswag was referring to him, because he was not referring to Eloswag with that comment, that he was talking to his fans, because his fans were always telling him to go live on Instagram. So he basically responded to them that it's not always about going on live. Some of them are busy living their real lives. So he wasn't referring to anybody. Ebuka asked Eloswag if he spoke to Adekunle about it personally. He said no, he did not see the need, that he just felt like if Adekunle was shading somebody, he should have just used this add button, no need for that. And Ebuka just wrapped it up, and then he moved on, still on the whole newsletter saga, but we moved on to the Sheggz and Adekunle Azu Wahala, who ordered Azu, who did not order Azu. Ebuka asked Sheggz to give us a breakdown of the whole issue, and Sheggz said that he went to the club with his friends. He bought Azu on a low-key. He does not even know how he went viral, that he bought Azu. And then the next thing, he's saying another part of the newsletter which was trending, where Adekunle said, everything your faves are doing is being sponsored by Pepsi. And he felt that was a shade to him, so he tweeted, Nami buy the Azu. That was what Sheggz tweeted back, because he felt Adekunle was shading him. And then Ebuka asked Adekunle, what's up? Adekunle was like, oh, no. That the funny thing is that he didn't even know about the whole Azu, Sheggz buying Azu, or the whole Azu saga, until the next day, that yes, they were in the club together, but they were on different sides of the club. So he didn't even know if Sheggz bought Azu or anything that was going on with any Azu until the next day. And what hurt him is that they were all in the same vicinity, and none of them bothered to ask him what's up. That it was only Christy O who went to him and asked him what's up, wanting to know the whole ish. And then Bella chimed in and was like, oh, it's obvious that was a shade. And Ebuka asked to who? She said to a lot of people. That's the newsletter, that the newsletter was an obvious shade to a lot of people, because the whole Azu situation, Sheggz ordering Azu, that it was very viral, that it went viral, and it was the next day that Adekunle posted the newsletter. So it was obvious that he was shading a lot of people in the newsletter. And if you put something on social media, this is Bella talking now, she said, if you put something on social media, in social media you are going to get a response. And I actually see sense in what she's saying. If you shade me on social media, that's where you're also going to get a response. And Ebuka told Adekunle that, so you can see where they're coming from. If 2 or 3 people caught stray bullets from your newsletter, you can understand why they felt some type of way. And he said yes, he understands them, but truthfully he wasn't referring to anybody and all of that, and he wishes all of them well. In my own opinion, I still believe that Adekunle was actually throwing shades at them. I don't know why he insists that was not the case, but if he says so, let's move on. Then Ebuka moved to Famsavi and Eloswag briefly, and he was asking Famsavi why he took the nomination from Eloswag so personally. And Famsavi was explaining about how him and Eloswag, they already bonded during their lockdown. If you guys remember, they were lockdown roommates, so they already bonded, and other people were actually fighting for their own lockdown partners whenever they put them up for nomination. But Eloswag had no problem just throwing him under the bus. He was really pained. When he was explaining, the other housemates, they were laughing because it was kind of hilarious. But the guy was very serious. Like, he sounded so pained. And apparently, Eloswag said even his mom tried to reach out to Famsavi because he had been calling Famsavi. Famsavi was not taking his call. So his mom reached out to him and he spoke with the mom, but that still didn't resolve the issue. And he took an A-list celebrity actress. I think they are referring to Mercy Aigbe, because I remember seeing a video of Mercy Aigbe giving them a group hug, that's Eloswag and Famsavi. I think when they were in South Africa. Was it South Africa or Nigeria? I can't really remember the location, but I remember seeing that video. So I think she's the actress that they are referring to. And Eloswag said it took that actress to like settle them before everything could die down. But Famsabi was still sounding very, very pained. And Ebuka was like, okay, so what do you want now? Is it that you cannot forgive him, or you've forgiven him, but you cannot be friends anymore with him? Or what exactly do you want? And Famsabi was like, oh, he has let it go. He does not have a problem with him anymore, but he cannot be friends with him. He does not trust him. And then he made one ridiculous statement that Eloswag is the type of person that can poison him if he has the opportunity. And I was like, dude, it's really not that deep. Like, you need to calm down. Like, I understand your pain. I understand where you're coming from, but now you're taking it so far. And Ebuka was like, okay, bottom line is that you have let it go, but you don't trust him as a friend. He said, yes. He said, okay, good. Moving on. Then Ebuka moved on to Doyin and Saif briefly, and she asked Doyin, oh, what was all that about, her and Saif? And she actually like trash talking Saif in a way to Deji when Deji got into the house after Saif left. And she said, oh, she was attracted to Saif's confidence. She really liked him because he seemed like a very confident guy, very intelligent whenever they spoke. So she had an attraction to that because apparently that's the type of guys that she liked, but she feels very, very like embarrassed and sorry that she actually talked down on him to Deji. She did not know what she was thinking, and then she apologized to Saif, and Saif just nodded, like, you know, accepting the apology. She said she was sorry, and Ebuka asked her why she felt like her level people did not like how she was like not taking the competition so seriously. And then she said she has a different approach to competition, that she felt other people, that's her other level people, they were taking it too seriously. For her, that's not how she sees competition. So it was making her very uncomfortable. She didn't really see a big deal with them being in a competition and still getting along. And then Ebuka entered Brian. I was like, oh, you too, Brian. You were in another level, but you were admiring Diana. And you were like, oh, you were going to shoot your shot at Diana. You were going to shoot your shot at Diana. And you didn't even care about the age difference. And Brian was like, oh, no, it was just cruise. It wasn't anything serious. It was just cruise. And Ebuka was like, no, that was not cruise. You said it a number of times. You didn't just say it once. He said, no, he was just cruising. If you get to know him, he jokes a lot. And by the way, Diana is a very fine lady that he couldn't have mind. Like, he didn't mind if anything could have happened between them. She's a fine lady now. Diana was like, oh, thank you, my love. It was just a joking, like, moment between them. And Brian was like, oh, he was just cruising, it wasn't anything serious. And then Ebuka entered Amaka, but first he asked Brian if Brian knew that Kidifaya and Diana, they had anything going on. He was like, no, he didn't know at first though. It was after they merged, that was when he now realized that things are happening. Then Ebuka now entered Amaka and was asking Amaka if Amaka knew that Kidifaya and what was her name, Diana, if Gidifaya and Diana Moncheri, if she knew that they had anything going on. And Amaka said no, she did not know that Moncheri, which is Diana, and Gidifaya, that they had anything. That she asked Diana like twice, and Diana said no, nothing was going on. That even after the show, Diana kept insisting that nothing was going on between herself and Gidifaya, and she fancied Gidifaya without any information, so she could trust Diana to help her get Gidifaya, but she did not know that anything was going on between herself and Gidifaya. And then Ebuka asked her that, okay, you saw the whole garden situation between Diana and Rachel, how Diana lashed out at Rachel, and that whole issue was about Kidifaya. And he was telling Amaka that you saw that, so didn't you like take a cue from that and like ask her like, okay, what was really going on between you and this guy? And Amaka said, oh, she did not have enough information about what really happened that day, that they settled the issue in their own level. Then they had not merged, that they settled it in their own level, so she did not really have enough information to go by at the time. And that whenever she asks Diana still says, oh, they don't have anything. Plus, Gidifaya was entertaining her advances in front of Diana, so she didn't really think they had anything going on. And then Diana chimed in, and Diana was like, in front of which Diana? Okay, hold on. Before you ask me about Gidifaya, you asked me about Eloswag, you asked me about this, you asked me about this, that. And the funniest thing was that Diana was telling Amaka that, oh, Amaka, I don't want to expose you. Meanwhile, you are exposing her. It was just hilarious. It was a very hilarious section. Even the housemates, they were laughing. They were not taking them seriously. It was just so funny because Diana kept saying, oh, I don't want to expose you, Amaka. Meanwhile, you're already exposing her. So what else is there for you to say? So they were just basically going back and forth, going back and forth about it, talking about how they agreed during their lockdown period that they were not going to have issues over a guy. They were not going to fight over a guy. They're going to have an understanding. Amaka said her strategy coming into the house was to be a player. It was just a back and forth between them, Sha. They were just going back and forth at each other, and then the show just ended impromptu, like it just ended there to be continued. That was what they said. And Gidifaya also chimed in a bit, and he was also trying to clear up the whole situation. And I didn't really find their part very, very interesting because it's the same old thing. They kept going back and forth at each other. So yeah, that was the show for day 2. That was where it ended. So tomorrow, which is day 3, we're going to also catch up, and I'm going to make a recap of that. So thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you have watched till the end, please do not forget to like this video, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you so much again for watching. Bye.